Everyone, so I'm here today with a Q&A video, and this is going to be all about hair removal, and I am going to also do a kind of follow-up video to this and talk to you about all the hair removal options that are out there. But today I wanted to just focus on specific questions that you guys have sent in on Twitter and Instagram and that kind of thing. And I will start with the first question, which is, can you talk about everywhere where you think hair removal is necessary? Okay, so this is really personal, it's a really individual matter, because people like different things and people feel like they kind of are self-conscious about different things. So it's not something that there's a general rule. If you don't want to remove any hair at all, then that's fine also. Personally, so we'll start face downwards. On your face, I think brows should be tidied up, and facial hair, there's a question that's about that specifically which I'll go in, but I think upper lip is quite important to me personally. Then underarms, legs. I don't do the top of my legs, which I know is a little bit controversial, but the hair there is pretty much blonde anyway, so I don't really see the point. But legs, and then obviously bikini line. I like a Brazilian wax, but again, that's really personal and depends what you prefer. And I know a lot of people struggle with hair in different places, so like stomach and that kind of thing. I would remove that as well if you're self-conscious about it, just because I think it looks a little bit tidier. Then the second question is, facial hair growth is worse due to the hormones, especially on the sides. Okay, so I can understand that can feel really self-conscious for you, but I think brows, definitely threading and tweezing. Upper lip waxing, that's what I always do. If you do have any on other areas, I do recommend maybe getting electrolysis or laser done there, because it can be difficult, but waxing I think would work fine there. I know a lot of people like to do the very thin razor type of thing, the facial one. You could try that as well, but I think probably waxing, although that might be a bit tricky on that area, so maybe go and have it threaded. I think that would probably work pretty well. Then this question is, hi, just wondering what your thoughts on the little peach fuzz face shavers. I've seen so many YouTubers use this tool, but I'm still quite skeptical about using it. Can't bring myself to actually do it. Would appreciate your view on it. So those are what I was talking about. I don't really think it's necessary. I think it can just get a little bit obsessive. I get if you're having your photo taken really close up and it's HD and everything, that you can see a little bit of peach fuzz on the skin, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. And if you do worry about it, then laser, although I know laser doesn't necessarily work on finer blonder hair, but I don't think that it's really necessary in day-to-day life to be using things like that. If I'm completely honest, I just don't see the point. Then someone said, will there ever be an end to it all? That's a very good question. No, doesn't seem that way, does it? Then we have, how to stop itchy skin after shaving. My legs are always so itchy a day or two after shaving, and it's horrible. I get that sometimes. I think the best tip I can give you for that is to not itch, and I know that's easier said than done, but always moisturize your skin. Make sure you're using something moisturized to shave with as well. I always just use some shaving foam or a shower gel or that thing, and then always moisturize your legs after. It's usually the dryness that causes the uncomfortable itch after you've shaved, so I do think that is really helpful to just use something moisturizing, and that usually does stop it from itching. But don't it's usually on the day 2 mark as well, where it starts to get a bit prickly, then just shave again and the itching should stop, I find. I know you don't like shaving, but do you have tips for women who shave, especially bikini area? So always do it in the shower or in the bath. I don't really recommend dry shaving, and always use a shower gel or some shaving foam. I like shaving foam, if I'm being honest, to do it. On the bikini area, it's a little bit more tricky, and the reason I don't like it is just because I feel like the hair grows in so many different directions. It's just difficult, but be very careful doing it in that area, and use a little mirror if you're shaving the underneath part, because please don't take razors near all that area. And in terms of shaving as well, I always find if you keep your skin quite taut, it gives you a nice closer shave. Those are kind of not revolutionary tips because shaving is pretty self-explanatory. Then tips for someone who's going to get a wax for the first time, and presuming she means bikini wax. You can take 2 painkillers before. Do not let the hair get really like out of control and, you know, like 70s down there, because it will hurt so much more when you get it waxed. Keep it kind of trimmed, and a lot of the time it doesn't actually need to be as long as you think it does to be able to wax it. So kind of keep it kind of neatly trimmed. You know, lots of epilators have the kind of trim heads and that kind of thing. Those seem to work quite well, I find, and it is going to hurt. Like, there is no getting away from the fact you are ripping hair out of your vagina. It is going to hurt, but it's not that bad, and once you've had it a couple of times it really doesn't hurt that badly. And then the next question is, what are your thoughts on epilating the bikini area? I love it. What I usually do is I usually kind of will wax, and then when the hair starts to grow back but it's not really ready for kind of another wax, I'll just epilate in between for probably like, after about a week or 2. My hair grows back so fast, it's horrible. And you can just kind of epilate, not the underneath part because that really hurt, but just around, and it's nice because you can kind of just tidy up and everything like that. And then the last question that people wanted to know was about ingrown hairs. And this is absolutely the bane of my existence on my bikini area, because I always get them, and I have tried everything. Like, let me tell you, everything. Tenskin I find does work quite well, but it's just very difficult to eliminate them completely. But I do find kind of using something scrubby in the shower on that area and then using Tenskin afterwards really does help, but you have to be really religious about it and do it all the time, and I forget, if I'm being honest. So that's kind of where we're at with that area. I would love to have laser on my bikini area, but I just think it's really expensive, and like, if it was sort of, you know, I've heard people who have it for like £50 a session. I would do it for that totally, but kind of everywhere I've looked into, it's like £120 a session, and you'd probably need about 6 sessions, and I just think that's a lot of money. But yeah, those are my answers. I know this video wasn't kind of the most informative because it was kind of just the nature of the questions, I suppose, were kind of not something that was too detailed. And if you've got any more questions, then by all means please put them in the comments below, and I'll reply to as many as I can. And if other people kind of have a reply, then, you know, feel free to do that in the comments down below as well. That would be really helpful. And I am going to do, as I said, a really detailed video about all the different hair removal methods and all that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.